The rain hammered the earth like 1,000 fists, turning the river into a snarling beast. Elena Voss, CEO of Voss Enterprises, stood on the slick stone ledge above the churning water, her designer coat soaked through, mascara streaking black rivers down her cheeks. She had come here to disappear. One step, one breath, one end to the suffocating weight she carried every day, boardroom battles, a father who never said, "I love you," a mother who left when she was 12, and the endless, hollow echo of being untouchable. Powerful. Alone. She closed her eyes, and then she slipped, not on purpose. The rock gave way beneath her heel, and gravity took her like a thief. She screamed once, short, sharp, before the river swallowed her whole. On the opposite bank, Alex Harper was teaching his 6-year-old daughter, Lily, how to skip stones. It was their Saturday ritual, the one thing that still felt like home after his wife, Sarah, died 3 years earlier in a car accident he still blamed himself for. He hadn't slept properly since. Lily's small hand clutched his, and she laughed when her pebble bounced twice. Then they both heard the scream. Alex's head snapped up. He saw the woman thrashing in the current, arms flailing, coat billowing like dark wings. Without a second thought, he tore off his jacket, kicked off his boots, and ran. "Daddy, wait!" Lily cried, but he was already sprinting across the wet grass, heart slamming against his ribs. The river was fast and cold, swollen from days of rain. He dove in anyway. Elena was losing the fight. Water filled her lungs, her limbs heavy as stone. She thought, this is it. This is how it ends. And strangely, she felt peace. Then strong arms wrapped around her waist from behind. A voice, low, urgent, broke through the roar. "I've got you. Don't fight me. Just breathe." She tried to kick, panic clawing at her, but he held firm, kicking hard toward the bank. Every stroke felt impossible. The current dragged them both downstream, but he never let go. When his feet finally found gravel, he hauled her onto the muddy shore, collapsed beside her, gasping. Elena coughed violently, water spilling from her mouth. She rolled on her side, shivering, staring at the stranger who had just pulled her back from the edge. He was drenched, dark hair plastered to his forehead, chest heaving. Mud streaked his face. His eyes, gray, steady, met hers without flinching. "You okay?" he asked, voice rough from shouting over the water. She couldn't speak. She just stared. No one had ever looked at her like that. Like she was human, fragile, worth saving. Not like a CEO, not like a headline. Just her. Lily came running, clutching Alex's discarded jacket. "Daddy, is she okay?" "She's shaking." Alex pulled Lily close with one arm, then turned back to Elena. "We need to get you warm. My truck's just up the trail. Can you walk?" Elena nodded. "Nung." He helped her up. His grip was firm but gentle. She leaned into him more than she meant to, legs trembling. They walked in silence, Lily chattering nervously between them, trying to fill the awkwardness. Elena said nothing. She was too busy feeling the warmth of his arm around her waist, the solid beat of his heart against her side. It was the first time in years she had let anyone touch her without calculating the cost. At the truck, he wrapped her in a blanket from the back seat, cranked the heat, and drove to his small house 20 minutes away. Lily kept glancing at Elena in the rearview mirror, wide-eyed. Inside, the house smelled of coffee and wood smoke. It was modest, worn couch, toys scattered on the rug, framed photos of a smiling woman with Lily's eyes. Elena stood dripping in the entryway, suddenly aware of how out of place she looked. Alex disappeared into the hallway and returned with dry clothes, his old college sweatshirt and sweatpants. "Bathroom's down there. Take your time." She showered until the hot water ran cold. When she emerged, the sweatshirt hung past her thighs, sleeves rolled up. She looked small, vulnerable, human. Lily was at the kitchen table coloring. Alex was making hot chocolate. He glanced up, and for a moment neither of them spoke. "Thank you," Elena finally said, voice cracking. I don't even know your name." "Alex. Alex Harper. That's Lily." He nodded toward his daughter, who waved shyly. "Elena Voss." He froze for half a second. The Elena Voss? Voss Enterprises? She gave a brittle laugh. Yeah, the one who just almost drowned in a river because she can't even walk in heels anymore. He didn't laugh. He just handed her a mug. Seat. Warm up. She sat. Lily slid a crayon toward her. Want to color with me? Elena stared at the crayon like it was a foreign object. Then she took it. For the next 20 minutes, she colored beside a 6-year-old girl she'd never met, while a man she didn't know cooked grilled cheese sandwiches. When Lily yawned and Alex carried her to bed, Elena sat alone at the kitchen table, staring at the photo of his late wife. Sarah, beautiful, kind, gone. Alex returned, rubbing the back of his neck. She's asleep. You can stay the night if you want. Couch pulls out. Elena looked up at him. Why did you jump in after me? He shrugged. You were drowning. That's not an answer. He met her gaze. Because I know what it feels like to lose someone. And I couldn't stand there and watch it happen again. Something inside her cracked open. She stood, walked toward him slowly. He didn't move. She stopped inches away. Her voice was barely a whisper. I'm not used to people wanting nothing from me. I don't want anything. She reached up, fingers brushing his jaw. What if I offered everything? He swallowed. Elena. She stepped back, suddenly ashamed. Forget it. But he caught her wrist gently. No, say it. Tears welled. I've spent my life thinking the only thing anyone ever wanted was my money, my power, my body. So I learned to get first. Control it. That way it couldn't hurt me. She laughed bitterly. Pathetic, right? Not pathetic, he said quietly. Lonely. She looked away. Will you stay if I undress? The words came out raw, trembling. If I give you what everyone else takes. He didn't flinch. He didn't reach for her. He simply lifted her chin, so she had to meet his eyes. I'm already here, he said, and I'm not going anywhere. Not because of what you can give me. Because of who you are. She broke then. Sobs tore out of her, ugly and real. He pulled her into his arms, held her while she cried like she hadn't since she was a child. He didn't try to fix it. He just held on. That night, she slept on the pull-out couch. He slept in the chair across the room, watching over her like a sentinel. The next morning, she woke to the smell of pancakes. Lily was giggling in the kitchen. Alex was flipping them, sleeves rolled up, flour on his cheek. Elena stood in the doorway, still wearing his sweatshirt. You stayed, she said. He turned. Told you I would. She walked over, took the spatula from his hand, and set it down. Then she kissed him, slow, tentative, terrified. He kissed her back the same way. It wasn't fireworks. It was quiet, safe, real. Weeks turned into months. Elena started visiting more. She brought Lily books and dolls she never had as a child. She sat on the floor and played pretend. She laughed, real, unguarded laughter. Alex took her to the hardware store, taught her how to use a drill. She helped him fix the porch step. She met his friends, rough, blue-collar guys who called her boss lady and teased her mercilessly. She loved it, but the world outside wasn't kind. Tabloids caught wind. Billionaire CEO slumming it with single dad. Paparazzi staked out his house. Board members whispered. Her father, cold, calculating, called her into his office and told her she was throwing away her future. You're embarrassing the company, he said. End it. She looked him in the eye. No. He laughed. You think this man can give you what you need? He already has, she said. More than you ever did. She walked out. The real test came when Lily got sick. High fever, pneumonia. Alex was terrified. He had no insurance that covered specialists. Elena didn't hesitate. She called her private doctor, paid every bill, sat beside Lily's hospital bed holding her tiny hand while Alex paced the hallway. When Lily finally opened her eyes and whispered, Auntie Lena, Elena burst into tears. Alex pulled her into the hallway, kissed her forehead. You didn't have to do that. I wanted to, she said. Because she's yours. And you're mine. He cupped her face. I love you, Elena. Not the CEO. Not the money. You. She smiled through tears. I love you too. And I'm terrified. Good, he said. Means it's real. They married quietly on a spring afternoon by that same river. Now calm, sparkling. Lily threw petals. Alex's friends clapped. Elena wore a simple white dress. No cameras. No headlamps. Just them. Years later, Elena stepped down as CEO. She started a foundation to help single parents with medical bills and childcare. Alex opened a small carpentry business. Lily grew up calling Elena mom. And every Saturday, they still went to the river. Not to skip stones, but to sit on the bank and remember the day a stranger jumped in after a woman who thought no one would. They held hands, watched the water, and every time, Elena leaned her head on his shoulder and whispered, "Thank you for staying." He always answered the same way. Always. If this story moved you, if it reminded you that real love isn't about power or money, but about showing up when someone needs you most, then hit that like button right now. It helps this channel reach more people who need to hear stories like this. And if you want more heart-pounding, tear-jerking tales of hope, healing, and second chances, subscribe and turn on notifications. You never know when the next one might be exactly what you need. Thank you for watching. Keep believing in love. It still exists.